I will say too, this event is flying thus far. We're already in round 3. The event's
You're
only been
saying you're
going
gonna
on
have
for
to leave early.
Yeah,
We might just make it in
yeah,
time.
I have to leave at 5. Yeah, we'll probably be commentating a little bit of top 8 before I leave, which is really nice. Like I said, I
think
love
we're
this
in a
format.
room of aggro decks.
Yeah, it feels that way. And yeah, not a lot of domain. The domain, so at least we're not getting domain mirrors, which is the worst. The literal worst. The one I won a few weeks ago, split the finals with another local George, a buddy of ours. We had multiple domain mirrors. I think we had like 7 domain players in the room, and they got paired into each other multiple times throughout the day. And we had a lot of rounds go like 10 minutes over or whatever. Felt like modern Yorion all over again. Was very, very annoying.
Horrible.
Yeah, just the worst when rounds are going 15, 20 over every single round. But yeah, fortunately
15, 20, you're being generous.
Yeah.
It was like a half hour, 40 minutes.
So bad,
every
dude.
round.
So bad. Fortunately,
we
got Trevor Dalton on. Let's go, dude. He is strong.
The other
player.
Luke Fuller.
Ooh, this is gonna be good. I'm curious to see what Trevor's doing. Luke, I believe, is on red black still.
He likes the mid range strategies.
Yep, so do I. Yeah. Luke and I both love playing some red black cards.
He's also a fan of control too, and there's not really a really solid, like just pure control deck.
Not yet.
Right now.
I think the new set might have helped it a little bit. We'll see if I'm right on that, but I think the 1-mana draw card, Make a Clue, could be a really interesting card for control because it's like pretty efficient. And then obviously No More Lies. I think No More Lies, like Mana Leak Exile, is really strong. Now we have like 8 2-mana counters. I don't know how many we want to play, but we have 8, which is a good spot to be.
Looks like Trevor's on Green Black Rajas.
Oh yeah, this is gonna be sick. 2 mid-range decks battling it out here. No counter spells either, so this is gonna be 2 mid-range decks playing to the board.
It's a resource game.
It is, and I don't even know who's favored. I would say Luke Fuller might be favored because he's on the Carnosaur Cruelty of Gix build, so he can go over the top really well. But it's close.
The nice thing about the green black mid range deck that Raja threw together, it's resilient as hell. It just can generate value over and over and over again with just stuff like Dread Knight. With it doesn't play Gix, but it plays like Shieldred. It plays the Cottage.
Yeah,
there's just a lot of and then the new card, the
Sharp-Eyed Rookie.
The Rookie.
Sharp-Eyed Rookie. For those that don't know what Sharp-Eyed Rookie does, it's a new one out of the new set. Obviously, it is a 2-mana 2/2 with Vigilance. It's a green and a generic. Whenever a creature with toughness or power greater than Sharp-Eyed Rookie enters the battlefield, it gets a +1/+1 counter and investigates. So the dream curve is you go obviously Sharp-Eyed Rookie into on turn 3, preferably Gix, but you obviously could have Preacher, whatever. And then you play Shieldred after. But yeah, the dream curve is obviously it gets huge, investigates multiple times, hits for 7 damage, and 3/3, and then 4/4.
We don't know if Trevor has those cards yet because they are
literally came out yesterday.
Literally yesterday.
Yeah.
Ooh, but we got a Preacher of the Schisms.
There's a bat. Okay.
A Virtue of something or other.
All right, well, great hand for Trevor because it doesn't really matter what this bat takes because we have 2 removal spells. If you're Luke here, you got to take the Virtue, though, because...
Is that a go for throw?
It is, yep. All right, makes sense.
Art haven't seen before.
Yeah, it's one. Yeah, dude. It is.
Trevor, just like me, loves promos.
That's Smeargle on it, right? I think.
Oh,
whatever his name is.
I don't
know. Anyway.
Start throwing like some elvish words out.
All right, that's fair.
I'm gonna get lost.
Okay. Anyway, bat takes the Virtue, which I definitely think was right because we don't want Virtue to hit the bat there and then go on an adventure. We want to force our opponent to use the Go for the Throat, which is more flexible, can kill our other cards later, where Virtue like misses Preacher and Shieldred, things like that. So Trevor draws. Honestly, for Trevor, you just have to if you're Trevor, you can't kill the bat. You just have to conserve the Go for the Throat and save it for the good 3s. In my opinion. Luke's hand here, not that exciting. It looks like a pile of lands and a Blood Tithe Harvester. There might be another spell in there. It's another land. Jeez. So might be 2 Blood Tithes from what I can tell.
And looking at Trevor's list, there is nothing new from Karlov.
No new cards. Okay. He said, screw it. I'm going to play with the old stuff, which is whatever. It's fine. The deck was good.
It looks like on Luke's side as well, no new Karlov cards.
So they just showed up with last week's decks, which is fine. I mean, the deck's
fine.
Yeah. I mean,
But
Yeah, you can't.
you do get an edge by playing these cards that no one's seen before.
Oh, of
Sharp-Eyed
course.
Rookie,
Of
playing
course.
that, if it was me, I'd be like, "What the hell is that?"
Yeah, yeah. A lot of text, a lot of good text.
Yeah, yeah. But, I mean, Blood Tithe Harvester, classic. Now what are we doing here? Are we gonna
Oh,
cast a Virtue to get rid of this
no,
thing?
we've got to cast our bat. I
There's a
mean,
Gix in hand.
it's tough though because you have to worry about cut down from Trevor's end. Obviously, I know Luke's hand here, so it's yeah. I would actually maybe play the Gick. It's tough. I really don't love that.
Mm,
Yeah, there's a Sentinel. Good
yep.
play. Anyway, the I really it's tough. If I were Trevor, I would not have go for the throat of the bat because interesting. Okay, I guess again.
Okay, okay,
Okay,
this makes a lot of
it
sense.
does. Yeah, yeah. Okay, so things are gonna work out okay, but I would have just saved the go for the throat for a more relevant creature. I would have waited on the bat.
Oh, okay, well, looks like we just got,
Just
oops all
oops, all blood
all Blood
tithes.
Tithe.
Guess what, everybody? Fable Man didn't matter. It's still here. Here they are. Um, yeah. Anyway, if I were Trevor, I probably would have waited on killing the bat just because I would have wanted to save my go for the throat. But things are going to line up pretty well here. So
And this bat, I'm curious why we're playing this bat now. Maybe it's just to force our opponent to crack a Blood Tithe Harvester.
yeah, it's so we can be
Okay.
sure. It's so that Trevor can be sure that the way is clear for his children.
Yep.
I do think it all has come together well. Um,
Now the question
Obviously,
is,
we're working with perfect information. Okay, Bitter Triumph, really good draw there. Holy, kill your bat,
then
play
this is just
Shieldred.
gonna slam a
Yeah,
Shelly
and
down.
this
Boom.
this spot right here is why I just never would have killed the bat. Is if we still had our, if we had go for the throat, we'd just be killing this. But now I mean, we're gonna have dueling Shieldreds, so it's like, but the problem is there's a Bitter Triumph over here. It's not great. I think I would take a draw step. Okay, just take 3. Okay, that's fair.
I think that's
Take
fine.
3. Take
I
3
think
is
that's fine.
fine.
Yeah.
Take 3 is fine. We don't want to discard
Ooh,
anything.
a Geopraiser.
Such a good draw. Such a good draw.
And Geopraiser, you ban it out of Pioneer, doesn't matter. It's still a great card.
Yeah.
For standard too.
Just actual Bloodbraid Elephant standard
Boom.
without haste, I guess, but better in the sense that it can put the card in your hand.
Now Trevor's really on the back foot now.
Yeah, Trevor's in a lot
and
of trouble.
perhaps it's due to that go for the throat you
Yeah,
were talking about.
that is why it is. Yeah. Yeah.
Let's see where we got a Gix, we got a Preacher, but Preacher at this point will make 1/1s that can block the Shelly.
Yeah, and it also means the Shelly can't rumble.
Yeah.
Which is pretty good. And that also means the Shelly. Yeah, so Shelly really can't rumble now. Blood, gain life. Oh, Shieldred. Wow. All right. Yep.
So
Luke's hand is just a pile of goods.
I think we're gonna draw, gain a couple life, and then just rumble. And if our opponent wants to trade, quote unquote trade, so be it.
Possible. I think I would just sit. I would just cast Geo and just let your opponent's draw steps melt them away. Okay, some big ringers. Oh man, we are losing.
Gix. Okay, well,
That's a pretty good
that's a
one.
pretty good one. It's a pretty good
A lot
one.
of good cards that we just put to the bottom though. 2 Carnosaur and a Cruelty of Gix.
Yeah,
Not
that's
necessarily cards I don't want to be drawing. But I guess we're a bit of mana off. Yeah, no, we're not. We had 5 lands. Yeah, I forget. Yeah, not the best. Yeah, just pass. Yep, pass. The great thing for Luke is like everything's a good draw right now. Lands are good draws because we can spin our Gix later, and spells are good draws because obviously we're just in good shape here. Okay, another Shieldred here. So we got dueling Shieldreds. Yep. All right. Well, things are about to get pretty wild here. We're exploring onto Shieldred. Okay. Okay, that kind of makes sense. I don't think I would have explored on a Shelly personally.
No,
I think I would have explored.
I think I would have put it on the Preacher perhaps.
Yeah,
because the Shelly is like numero uno when it comes to
yeah,
removal
it will
spell.
it will be the card that gets killed.
Yeah.
I would have probably put it on the Dread Knight so it can't get cut down. Although that doesn't matter that much, I would prefer it to just be cut downable.
Okay, well we're discard.
Oh,
another Geo.
Yep, more 2-for-1s, please.
Oh, go for throat.
Good lord. All right. Well, I think we actually have to go for throw first. Maybe. I would like that to not ever get batted out of my hand. So I think I would. Well, there's a Glissa on top, and we didn't get batted there. Huh, tricky turn. We'll see what he does. I don't know what I'd do here. It's an interesting spot. He's going to Geopraise. I mean, it's totally fine. I get it. Okay. What do we hit? A Preacher, pretty good. Probably best possible, I'd say. Close to best possible.
Yeah,
Removal spell would
close.
have been good too, but Preacher can rumble so freely. This was a reason to put the counter on the Dread Knight, by the way. As a future Preacher, I guess we have Glissa to block it now, so. Luke pointing out that there was a Shieldred trigger. Trevor pointing out he also has a Shieldred trigger, so we will keep our life totals the same. Theoretically, it could matter because one happens before the other, but that only matters when somebody's at 2, so we're not really going to worry about it right now. Good lord, that's a good draw. All right, Deep Cavern Bat, please.
Really, what Trevor's looking for at this point is lands to get that Virtue into play.
Yep.
That Virtue will be a defining factor in this game.
Yep, looming large. Okay, blood. Why are we the bat? Okay, he doesn't want the bat. I kind of like.
I kind of like the bat,
especially with the Gix. Yeah, I would have kept that for sure. I just
especially if we're gonna go for throw the Shelly.
Well, it's mainly because we have a Gix. It's a 1/1, can't be blocked. It like breaks the stall we're in because we're in a stall right now. Really, obviously now we're
That's
kind of not.
interesting.
It kills the Glissa. Well, now it's the easy block with Dread Knight. Block Dread Knight and then just adventure, do the thing again.
Looks like he's thinking better of it. Perhaps.
You should just block with Dread Knight.
Yeah, because you just get to adventure, right?
Yeah,
Draw another card.
So free. Just so free. Okay.
Trading Preachers, okay.
It's interesting. Okay, well, plays that. Yep, makes sense. Go. Okay.
I think I kind of would have liked removing the Shelly, so then your Shelly, because his life total is really low.
Yeah. That's what I would have done with my removal spell too. And then I just would not have attacked.
Yeah.
And I wouldn't have discarded bat and would have played bat. Yeah, I would have played that turn very, very differently than Luke. We'll see if it works out for him. But yeah, I also would have blocked differently if I were Trevor. So I would not have played the same.
I think, and I agree with you too. I agree too. I would have blocked with the Dread Knight.
God, I love this format, man. This format is so sweet. Anyway, yep. There's a Gix. Both players have Gix now.
Gixes.
Yeah, the problem is Luke is about to have 7 mana, so you can just start spinning Gix every turn if he chooses to. If he doesn't like straw, he just gets to spin. Oh, that's a pretty. Is that a cruelty?
That is a cruelty.
That's what it looked like. What in the heck? That thing looks weird for some reason to me. I don't know why, but it looks bizarre. Okay, no, it's I don't know.
It's definitely a cruelty.
Yeah.
Looks like we're gonna read ahead a little bit.
Demonic Tutor. I would go get bat and play bat. We'll see if he agrees.
I would bet you. I think that Luke's gonna grab a Gopher Throat.
He could.
I agree. I think I would go for the bat as well, but I think he's gonna go for Gopher Throat.
Yeah, it's obvious Trevor has a spell. I mean, he did discard the bat last turn, so probably won't get it. Yeah, maybe it is just Gopher Throat. Gopher Throat's fine. I mean, you just like kill the Shieldred and the next turn reanimating a Preacher? Get Glissa? I would reanimate Glissa, maybe. Although there's a Dread Knight, so Glissa doesn't do that much because Trevor can free block every turn. He'll see what he does. I'm curious.
There's quite a few things you could go for.
Yeah, Demonic Tutor is a good card. Who knew? We could just go get Carnosaur too.
Just for next turn.
Yeah, and then upkeep, cycle it, kill your Gix, and then buy it back. But that runs the risk of getting batted.
Oh, we already have a Gix.
Yeah. I mean, kill his Gix with 3 mana. So 3 mana, cycle, kill your Gix, and then reanimate the Carnosaur, trigger this.
Oh, sure. Reanimate the Carnosaur. Yeah, that makes sense too, yeah.
But that play runs the risk of your opponent top decking a bat and ripping your Carnosaur, and then it didn't really do anything. So you do kind of want to get a. So he's
going to. You're talking this bat seems pretty important.
Yeah, we should not discard that last turn, but whatever. He's going to anoint the Dread Knight, I suppose, now, maybe. So he has attack. I don't know. The anoint was an interesting get because now he can't kill the Shieldred. So I guess he's planning on. Yeah, what is that? Oh, that's the eliminate. That can't be countered. All right.
Oh,
so he is on some new cards.
All right.
He is on some new cards. A little upgrade to anoint, depending on what the format looks like. What is the
Long Goodbye?
Long Goodbye. So he's on 2 Long Goodbyes. That is the only new card he's playing. He's on 2 of those. 3 go for the throat.
Oh, that's a big draw.
What was it?
It's a basic land. We're 1 away.
Yeah, one away from the Virtue and Gix spinning too. So okay. It's an anoint, and
Where do you go for the Gex, perhaps?
I don't know, man. I don't know what
The
he's gonna
Dread Knight?
do.
It
This has
exiles
been
the Dread Knight, right?
it does. That's probably what you have to do because that's gonna be a problem in the long term. Huh. What an interesting game this has been. I'm pretty perplexed, honestly, the way that it was played from Luke's side. We'll just see how it all works
Definitely,
out.
yeah, definitely interesting. From both sides, really.
It's been a fun one. It's been a
What are
really
we going
fun
to
one.
reanimate? A bat here?
You might just get the value preacher. Probably just gonna get a preacher, play preacher. That's what I would do. 2 preachers. Sets up a double attack, double draw. Pretty busted, honestly. Very, very
Right, because
good.
he drew a preacher, right?
Yeah. So you can just go reanimate preacher, play preacher. He's lining up blocks. There's a cottage too that he should certainly be aware of. You can't really go nuts
Go
here. He
Glissa.
gets
That's fair.
Glissa. That's fine too. Don't hate it. Yep. I like Glissa. Glissa's good too.
Glissa's good. This is good.
Yeah,
Good
I
pick.
don't know that it's better than Preacher, but it's very close. It probably is better than Preacher, actually. I think it's a good
First
a good
strike
buy.
is pretty good.
A good
Ooh,
buy
I think
there.
that was a land.
The problem is now the Glissa makes it so it must be blocked or it blows up that Virtue. So Trevor like going to be forced into chump blocking it, which is super awkward. Okay, there's the land.
Mm-hmm. But we could start buying back Luke's blood tithes.
We could. Yep, not bad. And we'll see what he does. I mean, he has to play it. It's forced. I think Luke was lining up blocks. There's also events in play here. And we did talk about the being at 2 or less life. I believe if you're at 2 or less life, it's active
important
player,
because
non-active player, right?
Correct.
So yours goes on the stack first.
Correct.
So theirs resolves first.
Yeah.
So we will die.
This was really big back in standard for
Huntmaster of the Fells.
Huntmaster Fells,
Yeah.
yes.
So anyway, if Trevor goes to 2 or 1 life, he'll die on his upkeep to the Shieldred because his resolves after Luke's, so Luke's will kill him. Which is really funny because we brought it up earlier and I didn't think it would matter, and it looks like it's going to matter.
2, 4, 7.
Yeah, we have 2 blockers.
9?
We only have 2 blockers if we play the Virtue, so we'd be forced into Shieldred block Shieldred. I think he's dead. Shieldred block Shieldred, Gix block Glissa, take 10 because this land can fire up. So if the land fires up, we die.
That's what I got.
Yep. Land fires up, we die. So Luke just has to fire up the land. He has lethal.
But in reality, like Trevor did not have another play.
He did actually. He could have just fired up his main land.
Cottage. Yes, cottage.
Yeah. So he could have not been dead to the board. But maybe he's just thinking, I can't win this game if my opponent sees lethal. I just need to hope he makes a mistake. Which, maybe that's right. Maybe fire up cottage is not good enough. It's not like you're getting anywhere. Glissa just has you in the abyss.
Yeah, so you gotta chump the Shelly. And then the Shelly blocks the vents.
Preacher should have drawn a card too.
Maybe. Oh, this is the out. Yep. Trade Shellys.
Oh yeah. Duh.
We just didn't think about that.
Yeah,
and then in the upkeep,
I forgot the Shieldred's gonna die. So
in the upkeep, the Virtue will bring back Shelly.
Oh, Carnosaur, does that do anything? What is happening? Is there a trampler? Oh, it's before blocks.
Yeah, it's on attack.
That's all still before blocks. Yep. Okay.
On attack.
It's a pretty good draw.
Yeah.
To be fair, he drew a lot of cards, so it's
it's not
a surprise.
Yeah.
All right. Well, really cool game 1. I love this matchup. It's also like kind of cool. There's no counter magic, so everyone's just kind of playing to the board. Just a lot of like
very
reading
old school.
Yeah.
Old school kind of matchup.
Classic Jund. Just Jund mid-range mirror is what it feels like.
Very much modern. Like old Innistrad.
Yep.
Very much like old Innistrad.
So you got Trevor's sideboard here. He's got 3 Duress, 2 Lily of the Veil, 3 Thrillback, 2 Path of Peril, 1 Fade from History, 1 Aclazotz, 1 Gix's Command, 1 Breach the Multiverse, 1 Nissa Ascended Animist. The Nissa should probably come in. The Breach the Multiverse should probably come in. The Aclazotz should probably come in. Gix's Command is pretty okay. Can definitely do some good stuff. Duress I kind of like because of Luke's really high impact Gix's commands, so I would definitely consider Duress. Gonna have a lot of removal too, so you're almost always gonna hit with it. But yeah, we'll see what he does. I mean, it's always oh, okay. Trevor's on 4 main deck Shieldred. I would definitely board out some Shieldreds in this matchup. You
Yeah,
don't
I
want to
agree with
flood.
you.
You don't want to flood on Shieldred versus a deck that has a lot of 2-mana removal, in my opinion. We'll see what he does. I'm curious.
I'm wondering if Luke brings in the Aklazad, the Bat God.
Oh, they both will. Yeah, Aklazotz
Yeah,
is so
so
good,
good.
so good in the mid range mirrors, especially non-blue
Mhm.
mid range mirrors. Can't get countered, can't get tide bindered.
Yeah, and also Luke could bring in Liliana Veil as well, and that'll really clog up the
Definitely,
board. Yeah.
definitely. Yep. Yeah, both of them could
Their sideboard plan is going to be very similar.
yeah, both of them could bring in Liliana. It may actually favor Trevor more because Liliana is pretty awkward into Dread
Into
Knight.
Dread Knight specifically,
And
yeah.
Liliana is very good at not letting your opponent cast 5 and 6 mana spells, which is really the advantage of Luke's deck, is being able to cast 5 and 6 mana spells. So I think it's likely that Luke, you know, maybe he won't bring in Liliana just because I think it is, wow, he's boarding out Gix's command. Interesting.
That
That
card
is
is
a
just so good.
shocker to me. Yeah, shocker. I like boarding it out against blue because they have so many counter spells for you, but I don't really want to board it out here. Curious what his reasoning would be.
Yeah.
Disenchants, I guess he's afraid of, but like it's still 2-for-1's your opponent because you demonic tutor. So
We are not going to the sideboard or the other game because
cool.
they're sideboarding.
Okay,
So
yep,
we're just
makes
sticking.
sense.
We're sticking with this classic matchup.
Makes sense to stay here. I mean, this is my kind of gaming right here.
Well, I mean, let's see what the backup was. Let's see.
Yeah, I'm curious.
Do
you want me to guess?
Yeah, I guess.
Domain versus mono red.
You got one of them.
Let's go. Was it Domain?
Yeah, it was Domain. We do have a Domain, and it was teammate Noah Heisinger was the other one.
Oh, Gurk again, right? Was
Nope.
he
Blue
he's
black.
on blue black
Blue black.
today. Okay. He was going to play Gurk for
I
a
think
minute.
you've sold everybody on blue black. You sold me on blue black. That's my kind of deck. So.
Yeah. It's just good. It's just good.
Good,
very,
clean magic.
Yeah, very
clean tempo gameplay.
Yeah, very well built deck by Mogged for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, anyway, so they're shuffling up. Curious to see how the board plans will go here. Feel like Luke probably favored, just so many 2-for-1s in that deck. You know, and having the high impact. Now, if he did board out the Gix's commands, a little awkward, but
Demon Spawn, there's one Domain undefeated. I believe there might be that might be the only Domain in the room.
There is not much Domain here today. Pretty interesting.
West Michigan known for loving control, like mid-range Jundish decks and big mana. So it does not surprise me that we got some red-black Cascade going on.
Mm-hmm. Yep, me either. Yeah, it's interesting. We had a lot of Domain at Galactic a couple weeks ago, so okay, this hand looks great for Luke. Little slow, but I would keep.
On the other side, Trevor's hand looks great as well.
Cool,
looks excellent.
Yeah, Luke's is very slow, so
both hands look slow.
He mulls. Okay, might be a discipline mull. Honestly, no removal. No removal is pretty bad. So actually thinking about it more on the draw, he might be right to just ship that. I don't think you can keep a hand that doesn't have a 1 or 2 mana play. Yeah, so worth noting, by the way, neither of these players have extra cut downs in the sideboard, which that's a lie.
We got one.
We've got third copy in the sideboard
on.
for one of them, and then the other one has no extra cut downs. I just don't people just don't love cut down enough, man. I know Raja doesn't necessarily love cut down. We definitely disagree on that one a little bit. But
I just think it's the
cleanest
answer to the early game.
It's just so good on the draw. I just want 4 against every deck on the draw. In standard, other than Domain. It's the only deck I don't want 4 against when I'm on the draw. So, you know, I mean, this is a matchup where, again, we literally said Luke had to mulligan because his hand was too slow. If that hand would have had a cut down, it's perfect. Like, just trade.
And against the Raja green black mid range deck, I think getting your cut downs out of the deck is fine.
It makes sense. It is still good against bat specifically. We'll see if he's
Yeah, but
he's
like
just casting it.
your Dread Knights are just so good
Dread Knight's
already.
so
Don't make them better.
It's so problematic. Well, yeah, you're never cut downing a Dread
Yeah,
Knight.
it's like
They're literally in the deck for bat
so
specifically.
if you have one of those heavy Dread Knight hands, your opponent draws cut down.
Yeah.
Like, thank you.
It is the worst into this mid-range deck than any other one. And that's exactly what we talked about. Trevor, Liliana very good in this matchup from his side specifically. It's going to get to Edict. Now it's going to get to roll up a bunch of times. Get Luke, low resource. Don't let his big cards take over.
He does have Luke does have Aclazot in him though.
Yeah, well again, hard to get Aclazots with a Liliana in play.
I think we have enough lands to do it.
It's 5 mana.
It's 5 mana?
5 mana, 4.
This thing sucks.
let me tell you what do you know what the card does?
I know when you flip it brings it back if you have your opponent's like
let me tell you what the card does, and you tell me if you think it should be 3 mana.
So 4 mana.
Okay. 4/4 flying lifelink. Whenever a player discards a land, when your opponent discards a land card, you make a 1/1 bat with flying, obviously. And then when it attacks, your opponent discards a card. If they have no cards in hand, you draw a card.
Oh, that seems mid.
4
mana.
Oh, it's mid-range, that's for sure. A mid-range card. All right, well, Preacher, yes, so awkward. He just can't attack. Dread Knight's so good, man. What a card.
Yeah, Dread Knight's real. This is where Dread Knight's really good when it clogs the board.
Another reason Malicious Malfunction's an interesting card out of the board, by the way. You can bring it in against green black, which I would consider doing, honestly.
I think
it gets bat and Dread Knight, which is pretty cool. So something to think about it.
It gets Preacher too, right? It's 3 or less, 3 mana or less.
It's -2/-2, Anoint. You're thinking of Anoint, and I was talking about Malicious.
Sure,
but yes, this is why I typically play like 3 Anoints in my black decks. That is, the easiest double block of Trevor's life. They both die. He can adventure them both now. Yep. Luke kills them both, and Trevor's next turn is literally just going to be just lose 1, draw 1, lose 1, draw 1, probably uptick Liliana.
Interesting.
And what's really cool about how many cards Trevor is about to get is Aclazots is not going to be able to flip back because Trevor is going to have so many cards in his hand that it just won't be able to. Because it's or is it if either player? It might be either. I think it's either. Never mind. It doesn't have to
we
be
can
both.
always find out. Let's find
out. I'm fairly certain it's either. So
I think you're wrong. But I also thought it was 4 mana.
Yeah, 3 mana.
Let's get it 3 mana. Come on.
It would be insanely broken at 3 mana.
It is 5 mana. Would you look at that?
No, shocker. I can't believe it, honestly.
If a player has 1 or fewer cards.
Yeah, so still going to be good here. He discarded it. Surprises me a lot, to be honest. I would have played that one. I would have gotten.
I mean, you're citing it in for a reason, right?
It's broken, yeah. All right, well, we're just going to Gix's command here, I guess, which is just going to be reanimate 2 creatures. And okay, this lines up sweet, though. Yeah. Okay, this is a good play from Luke, actually, because now we get to kill the Liliana. Not terrible. Okay, well.
Not terrible. Seems pretty good.
What do I know?
Seems pretty good.
What do I know? Peanut Gallery commentary here. I'll just shut my mouth.
You said you were the NRG champ,
nice lineup.
Right?
That was a good. He did line that up pretty well, so that's cool.
Holy cow!
Yep.
All right, we got a Bitter Triumph. We do have a what's the card called?
No more
Sentinel.
Oh, Sentinel as well. We also have the new removal spell, which I forget the name of.
Long Goodbye.
Long Goodbye. That's the one. Okay. Well, this Aclazots is actually going to be a real problem for Trevor. His shoulder now too. We're just going to lead on Aclazots here, I think. Get that going. Force removal out. Okay. Nope. Never mind. Not what we're going to do, apparently. Breach the multiverse. That's a problem. There's removal.
There's a lot of problems in this hand.
Yeah. We got to take the go for the throat, I guess.
Take the breach? No? Okay.
Yeah, I don't think we can. It doesn't do anything. He just kills.
I think you just take the go for throat.
Yeah, you take the go for the throat. Make him decide if he wants to lose 3 life or discard a card, and move on with your day. Play Preacher again. Yep, that's what he's gonna do. Definitely agree with that. Play Preacher now. I assume. Let's see what else is in the hand there. I think this feels like a game 3 upcoming very soon. That breach is not really going to be beatable, I don't think, for Luke, but we'll see. You looking up what breach does?
Yeah.
Yeah, go ahead and take a gander at what that card does. Why don't you?
You know, I'm a father. I don't have time to look
That's
at these
all
fandangled cards
I
you keep
I
talking about.
respect it, man. I get it. Yeah.
Built-in card. Each player chooses a creature, planeswalker. Player's yard for those cards. Huh.
Good one, huh?
Huh.
That's what the black-red mid-range deck casts on turn 5, by the way. That's what they big score into.
Huh.
Yeah.
It's not bad.
Oh, there it is. Casting it. Oh, we hit. No
Do we hit a
Carnosaur.
Carnosaur? Oh.
Unlucky. We only get a Shieldred. Ugh. So boring. Not even a Carno.
There is a Geopraiser.
Yeah, those don't trigger if we don't cast them, though, so.
I thought they were ETB.
No. Well, they're an ETB if you cast them.
I don't think so.
No, that's Carnosaur. Carnosaur is the one that's just an ETB.
Oh, you're right.
Geopraiser must
What
be
do I
cast.
know? What do I know?
Weird. It's so stupid that Carnosaur was just an ETB. It makes no sense. Why? They had the foresight to not let it do that on Geopraiser and then said, it's fine on Carnosaur. The one that can cycle to the
Interestingly,
yard.
you could grab the bat.
We could.
And take the bat god.
True. That's what I would do, actually.
But that Shelly is so, so shiny.
We could do two. We could take Shieldred, Lily, Uptick Lily. Could be good, too. Then we have a Liliana.
It takes Planeswalkers? My good
lord.
lord.
So we can get the Liliana.
This card does everything.
It's very good. In non-blue mid-range mirrors specifically,
this creature's just kind of stalled on board just from the Dread Knights.
There are 2 cards over here, so maybe we don't want Liliana.
Is it 2?
Yeah, there are 2 cards. He has a Bitter Triumph as well. All right, I think I'll just bat.
No, it's a Shelly.
Is it a Shelly? Oh, it is a Shelly. Okay, maybe it should. Yeah. I would bat. I would definitely bat if I'm in Trevor's situation here. We'll see what he does. The Bat God's just a huge problem. I don't know how much removal Trevor has in hand, though. Maybe he can out-tempo it, but it's going to be tough.
The Lily is tempting, though.
It is.
It's very tempting.
Yeah, Lily Uptick, definitely tempting. Sets up good edicts. But not great into the Bat God. So this is interesting. We'll see how this lines up.
And Trevor knows the Bat God.
He does. He does. So that he does have a go for the throat. So what I think Trevor is trying to set up is just tempo. He's trying to tempo out the Bat God. And it is close. I mean, maybe he can he has 10 power. He gets a trigger here. He will get to go for the throat and Lily Uptick again. And then the Acklazotz can like flip back, but it will be tapped. Yeah, I think he's just trying to out-tempo Luke, which I think this is capable of doing. I think this board state can do that.
Yeah.
Especially with the Cottage. The Cottage gets to rumble next turn too. So, yep. Cast Bat God. That's going to go for the throated. Okay.
Now we're hellbent, so.
Yep. Yeah, so it's just going to be like, kill your Bat God, edict you with Liliana, and then, yeah, okay, Trevor's going to read that. Fire up the Manland as well, because we have 7 mana. So, yeah, we'll see where this goes. Untapping lands.
And the fact that the Bat God can only transform back at sorcery speed.
Only transforms back at sorcery speed, and it also is tapped. Yeah, so
it's a 4-mana commitment.
A real tempo plan here. Is that a Boseiju?
It might be.
If that's Boseiju, you can just deal with Bat God forever.
Well, you just let when they activate it, you just
oh my god,
knock it out.
What a rip. Well, if that is Boseiju,
no, that's Cottage.
That's it's another Cottage.
That's Cottage.
Okay.
Don't you see the Cottage? Don't you see the green and the black? Come on.
I don't see it. No, I thought it was Boseiju.
Come on.
Excuse me. Yeah. So have to imagine just kill Bat God, edict.
Oh, geez, you'd have to imagine, right? Like they're go for throating. There's no doubt.
Yeah, you could edict first, I guess. Let's see what he sacks.
Sure.
I like this because if he sacks Bat God, then we can go for the throat. Okay. Well, Luke saw through it. Heads up. Yep. Now we have to go for the throat the Bat God, and then.
Yeah, because you can't let it attack.
We actually don't have very good attacks here. I don't know if this is going to work for Trevor. I'm pretty worried about this, actually. I don't know that tempoing out the Bat God was the right plan, because it's going to be tough.
We could go for throw and activate Cottage.
We could.
Right?
I guess we're just going to have to accept that Shieldred's going to...
What? Why? I don't understand. Why did we pass?
I guess it's because the land does enter tapped, so if he passes, then he doesn't get to flip it this turn, so then he has to wait a whole nother turn cycle. So he believed that attacking into the Preacher was just not good enough, which I was starting to come to the wondering if that was true as well.
Interesting.
But Luke drew a preacher, so Luke just
This
gets
but doing this on Luke's turn puts the land in tapped.
yeah.
So now it's 2 turns without the
It
back.
is, and now we get the Lily Edict again. Pretty unfortunate that Luke drew another preacher.
Well, you just plus this turn, right? You play your card, you plus.
I think I would just Edict and
You think
attack.
so?
Yeah, we need to win the game.
Sure.
Luke's bat, I think, is a problem. The Bat God. So I just want to rumble all.
Force it. Force the issue.
Edict rumble all is a guaranteed 10 damage.
I didn't see what we drew.
I didn't either. If it's a
Going for
removal spell,
mana.
the game's over.
3 mana. Okay.
Cycle. Gain 2 life.
Proving ground. Okay.
What was it?
Trevor's drawing his cards too fast. I can't see.
Yeah. Edict.
Yep. Just like you were saying.
Is it another one? All right. Game over.
Boom.
Edict. Attack all 10U. Luke goes to 6. Draw step goes to 4. I don't think there's any possible out here.
I think Luke is debating on protecting against the manland, but I don't think you. I just don't even think you bother with it.
Oh, sure. He should have done that, actually, for what it's worth.
Hold
then
up.
Is it a Carnosaur?
No. You're saying he should have held up.
He should have fired up the manland, sacked the manland.
No. Luke can fire up his manland. That's what he was thinking about.
Yeah, he should have. He should have done that because if he does that, then the preacher threatens block here. Trevor actually didn't really have a great attack. I mean, he did have still a good attack.
Did he have enough mana to activate it?
Yeah, it's only 3 to activate that
one.
Wow. Yeah. The best, the red black one and the white blue one are 3 to animate, and then all the other ones I believe are 4 to animate, other than the blue red one, which is 2 to animate.
Yikes.
Okay. Looks like we moved over to the backup here. Is a Siren Storm Seeker.
Nope, that's a Spyglass Siren.
Spyglass Siren. That's what the name of it is.
You'd think
one. You'd think I would know the name of my cards.
Well, I didn't know it earlier myself. You had to remind me.
That's fair. Well,
I can tell you the card's good.
It is a good one. It's a good one.
Yeah, a little domain action over here.
Really good matchup for Noah. So Pierce.
Pierce.
That's why we play Pierce, baby. Woo! That is. Can we Gix? We Gixing it up? Probably not, because he'd be slamming that. I don't need to be any thinking.
I don't know. He's putting them together.
I guess.
Okay. Oh yes.
So he would maybe think. Yeah, this. He would maybe think if he had like counters. But this is just. I mean, yeah, this is. Things are gonna get pretty out of control pretty quick here. Both are 1-1. Worth noting, all our matches this round are 1-1. So everybody probably playing for their top 8 lives right now. X2 maybe could squeak in, but 2 losses this early probably kills you. So.
Yeah, I don't actually know the player count today.
I don't either.
Because that would determine how many losses you get.
Matthew Cole has some interesting cards. He has a Shieldred's Edict in his hand. Very unusual.
Well, fancy me. I have the deck list. Let's see.
Look at that deck list.
You think there's a Shieldred's Edict?
Pretty sure I see a Shieldred's Edict.
There's 3 in the board.
Wild. Okay. Very.
Noah's 2-0. He's paired down.
Noah's 2-0. He's paired down.
Oh, okay. That's good to know. Okay, so good for Noah.
Okay. Shieldred's Edict gets rid of the Spyglass
Siren.
Siren.
He tried to Binding, but couldn't cast it. He didn't have white mana. Well, good for Noah that he knows there's a Binding in his opponent's hand now. Well, that's good coverage. Caught that. Nice try, Matthew Cole.
Yeah, I'm sure our players intentionally tried sneaking that one in there.
Yeah. Not today, buddy. And now we're just gonna. I don't know what's in Noah's hand. Oh, there's a Tidebinder over there. We are about to Tidebinder the hell out of this Leylines Binding.
Oh yeah, we are.
And it is gonna be a bad day. And this is why. This is what I'm saying. Like when the blue black deck has draws like this, Domain just cannot beat it. I mean, you are not winning versus the Tidebinder.
Yeah, Noah's thinking. Let's it go. Okay.
Maybe another Gix. Confusing.
He has another one in hand.
Another Gix. Still pretty surprised.
Yeah, it's fine.
It is. The Mastermind also very good.
I kind of like the. If I already have another Gix lined up and I have 2 mana, possibly if I have like a Make Disappear in hand.
Yeah, as long as we have a counter, this play cycle is fine.
Yeah,
if we don't have a counter, though, I'm really worried about the way this goes because now Matthew can Sunfall us this turn. And
the big worry is Sunfall.
The big worry is if we don't have a 2-mana counter. And I may be wrong. He might just not have Tidebinder in his hand. I may have just.
Which one is that?
It counters a trigger. Okay, he had Make Disappear, so just.
And Noah's very good at these blue black decks.
Yeah,
he knows what he's doing. He knows what to prioritize, what not to. That's an Otawara.
That is very good.
So that means even if we get Sunfalled, we can still bounce the Leyline Binding to get our Gix back.
God, this blue-black deck's sick, dude. Man, this deck's fun. Love watching this deck. Love playing this deck. I think we have a Murex in hand now, so we get to play that. Leave up Might activation. Leave up Otawara. Leave up counter spells. Leave up Tidebinder. Just infinity options on our opponent's turn. We can activate Mastermind, draw 2 cards. They draw 1. Just whatever the hell we want to do.
I believe is that the? Oh, that's a fast land. Okay.
Okay, not the man land, which
I thought it might be the man land.
Very good against Domain. Just have a 4/4 that can rumble. Doesn't, I mean, the text is pretty mediocre, honestly.
Now, here's a question for you. With your Fairy Mastermind here, if your opponent just kind of like just does nothing and passes, do you activate it to let them draw cards?
Depends. It depends how good or bad my hand is.
You do that into the binding deck?
Yeah. If my hand is good, yeah. If my hand is, or I guess if my hand is good, no. Because I'm confident that my spells will beat my
You don't want to make.
But if my hand is bad, yes, I will do it.
Sure,
if I like don't have any counters or Tidebinder and there's like a cavern, I'm worried about getting a Traxit or whatever, then I'm gonna start activating and looking for the things I need. But if if my hand is set up to beat everything, then yeah, why would I activate it? But if my hand is poor, then I would certainly activate and try to find the things I need to find. Okay. Herd migration.
That's another binding.
Another binding.
Is this where Noah pulls the trigger and just says, "Here's my Tidebinder"?
I would like to Tidebind this. Matt is at 14. He gets another threat into play. It gives us another draw on the Gix. He should certainly do it. I mean, let's
not play around anymore. Oh, Otawara.
Okay, he must not have a Tidebinder. There is no way there's a Tidebinder in his hand.
I'm curious why we wouldn't let. Okay, no, never mind. Yeah, I answered my own question in my own head. It happens sometimes. I was gonna say, why wouldn't we bounce the Leyline Binding? Yeah, we don't want to do it again.
He just clearly, there's no shot. He has a Tidebinder.
No shot.
Yeah, I would be stunned if he would
Gix again.
If he would have not played it that many times. Gix again. Combat. Attack you. I lose.
Our opponent does have a Sunfall though.
They do. Yeah. So we definitely want another counter. Which who knows if we have it or don't. There's a Murex though. Honestly, we have so many resources in our hand. I don't know what's in his hand, but even if we get Sunfall here, we can definitely beat it. We have a Murex. We could activate the Mastermind, Divination. He draws 1. Matt would draw 1. Noah would draw 2. We have all sorts of options. It's obviously assuming we don't have a counterspell, which we might have. I don't know. We're also at the really sweet spot of the game where we have 7 mana in play against Domain, and we have 1,000,000 cards, so we can just spin Gix and play Domain for them. I have won games where I was at 4, my opponent was at 30, and then I like spun Gix for 7, hit Atraxa, Nissa, Herd Migration, Leyline's Binding to beat their Atraxa.
Is that good?
Yeah, hit Topiary Stomper Invasion, got all the basics out of my deck. Just really cool.
I think I saw you play that game.
That was a good one. And then like the following turn, I ultimated Nissa and just like killed them. Okay, it is a Sunfall. It does resolve. Surprised.
Here's what we have in hand, though.
I'm really surprised. Yeah, I'm surprised we didn't activate the Mastermind in response to that, honestly. It feels like our hand is not good to me. So that would have been probably a prime spot to draw 2 cards.
It's a Murex. Okay.
The thing is, our cards are better than their cards at just like being efficient and doing what they need to do. All right, well, we'll see what he's got. He's got a lot of land. I assume his hand's just bad. I mean, that's kind of my assumption.
Curious.
Yeah, that would qualify as not great. Bad.
We're gonna map on the Murex token.
Okay.
Another Murex. That's not bad.
Yeah,
considering
it's a land that does something. It's not amazing.
Your opponent is isn't doing anything either. You know what I mean?
Yeah. The problem is, if we have nothing, which is
highly likely,
which is my worry. Matthew Cole has a lot of good cards to draw to.
Yeah, a lot of them.
And there is an Atraxa in his hand, which I assume is castable. I think he's on 6 mana right now, but I'm like certain he will have the mana that can play. Is this a Preacher, maybe? Yeah, Preacher.
Okay.
Ooh, tapping out.
Schooner.
Okay.
Okay. So Noah's hand was just all the creature half, not the spell half.
Yeah, not good. He does have Go for the Throat though. So
our opponent's got 5 lands, so they can't. Herd Migration's not enough.
It's only 5. Okay, so that Atraxa doesn't do anything.
The Shoulder's Edict
looks so mediocre right now. What is this?
Topiary Stomper.
All right, we get a land. It gets us one step closer to the Atraxa.
The Topiary Stomper can't block, though, either.
It can't yet. We need 7 mana. Yeah, Noah threatening an attack currently for 1, 2, 3, 6, and then has Go for the Throat the Atraxa. Matt in a lot of danger. The Shieldred's Edict does remove the 1/1, but not great. And double Murex. Yeah, I think we're just gonna die. I think Matt is.
Noah's sweating a little bit though.
He is. Yeah, it's scary. I mean, you have like guard. You know, his draw was pretty bad this game, and still probably gonna win anyway. That's the thing about this blue-black deck. Pretty good at winning games where it draws pretty poorly. I've noticed in a lot of my games. A lot of my games, you like feel like you're gonna lose, and then you just are able to claw out and win anyway.
Twitch chat's asking what your thoughts are on blue-white artifacts in Standard.
With the new set, that's one of the decks that I'm going to work on moving forward. I opened 2 of the Sphinx in my pre-release pool last night. For those that don't know what the Sphinx does, it's a 5-mana 5/5 for blue, white, colorless. It's a legend. When it enters, you investigate twice. So it's a 3-for-1 on a stick, which is insanely good in a format that is really mid-range heavy and
is
about
the one that also Sphinx's revs too?
There's another reason. That card is another reason why I want to play the deck, which we'll get to in a second. But what the Sphinx also does, before we get to the other card, which you just mentioned, which yes will be in the deck too, so that was the mana cost, 5/5 flyer, and then it has 1 mana, sack an artifact. It gains lifelink, vigilance, or hexproof until end of turn. So really sticky, very hard threat to deal with when you have a million clues. Then the deck will play the new Thraben Inspector. Probably would play Spyglass Siren, would play Alquist, whatever the Sherlock, people call him Sherlock Holmes. I think that's what the card's based on, but it's blue, white, generic, enters the battlefield, gets a clue, and then it can Sphinx's Revelation off clues. So you play like 12 creatures, some amount of creatures in deck that generate clues. You would maybe play the new instant that draws a card, generates a clue. You're probably playing No More Lies, Make Disappear. Might play Get Lost, actually, because there would be Get Lost in this deck would be much better than normal decks because you can Get Lost your own Thraben Inspectors to generate maps, which you could use to sack to the Sphinx. If we are a Smithy deck, we can tap the maps to do stuff with Smithy. Probably a Wandering Emperor deck. Maybe Wedding Announcement still, because Wedding Announcement's just really good in these white decks. But yeah, that's actually a deck I'm definitely going to mess around with. Probably not a ton before the PT, because I do need to focus on Pioneer and Limited a lot in these next 3 weeks. So that'll be kind of my focus. But yeah, a blue-white clue artifact deck.
Maybe Denver modern though, right?
It is.
Yeah. So you got to focus on some modern.
Yeah, I'm gonna be honest. I'm not gonna focus a ton on it. I tested a ton for NRG champs, and I'm pretty confident with Murktide. So I'm pretty much just the next 3 weeks. I'm just kind of, hopefully Denver goes well. Hopefully Denver goes well, but I'm really not gonna focus much on modern. I don't enjoy modern as much as the other formats anyway. I think there are a lot of not fun games. And anyway,
looks like Noah just won.
I think Noah did win, right? Topiary can't block here.
Topiary cannot block. There's a 2/2 that can block, but
yep, too much pressure. Yeah, so this is a good example of why the blue black deck is so good. Noah's draw was honestly very bad. Outside of threat into Gix, it was really all his hand did, and then it like drew a million lands. He had like a counterspell, maybe 2 counterspells, but he didn't really snowball with Gix because it kept getting dealt with.
His opponent may just go to 1, but like there's a Murex in play.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Awkward fist bump handshake.
You love it, dude. The fist bump, the handshake. I have that happen all the time too.
So. All right, back to the feature match.
Okay.
All right.
Here we go.
Based on board state, it looks like Luke is so far ahead.
Certainly ahead. Yes. There's a Gix in play too, which can spin. Looks like Trevor.
Yep, that's the match. Okay, well, unfortunate we didn't get to see that, but it kind of looked like it may have been a little bit of a blowout.
A little bit of a whooping.
Yeah.
A little bit of a whooping.
Yeah. A whooping, as some people
All right, so Luke moves to, I believe, 2-1, and I believe Trevor is 1-2, which is rough for Trevor. It probably means he's dead for top 8, but maybe not. You never know. Breakers can certainly be good, if his losses were like, if Luke moves, it doesn't lose, and then whoever he lost to before goes like XO or whatever, he's got a shot, but it's certainly looking grim